So, you're back again.
He has returned.
Yes, hopefully things are well with everyone out there. And everyone, I want to just take a moment to invite back into the fold once again the one, the only, Sin Poppy Rick. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let me get this lined out here. Oh, dang it, wrong one. There we go. Sorry, I'm trying to get all y'all lined up on the screen properly, and it's just everything's snapping and clipping into place. I'm just like, stop it, stop what you're doing.
The coffee.
There we go. So, everyone, I would, So Rick is back in the fold with us once again, unbanished from the Shadow Realm. So
welcome back.
Yeah. So welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the fold, my dude. And well. It's our 7th episode, so lucky number 7. So, hey, hell of an episode to come back on. And, well, there's some stuff happening out there, specifically stuff that require topics of discussion. And Chad was easily chomping at the bit to get started with us. So let's go ahead and let's hop on in to the topic that Chad has selected this evening.
Oh, let me tell y'all something.
Uh-oh.
Look.
I'm listening.
There are many ways out there that you can attract the opposite sex.
Yes.
Okay.
One of which that doesn't work, but it seems like people try it all too often, especially when they're famous. The rapper Desiigner, I don't know if you've heard of this guy, and if you have, you probably haven't heard of him in a while. He was one of those first. Yeah, he said that. I don't know about a panda. They did run out in a panda
with the 2 eyes in it. Yeah, yes. I'm looking him up here.
He has decided to whip his schlong out on a flight attendant while pleasuring his member on an airplane. Okay, as a tactic, he said, to entice a flight attendant that he found attractive. He was just showing all the bits.
Unit out. Just
whip the unit out.
Graphic. What?
Like, why? Well, let me see. He had a statement where he said that he had went overseas and he didn't get the cutty he thought he was going to get overseas. These are his words, not mine. And so he thought that
he'd get it on the way back.
Yeah, he said that he was bugging and that he had messed up, and he is now seeking help. He's going to get mental health help for this.
I was going to say, homie ain't getting off like he think he should.
And no, and that's not a way to join the Mile High Club. That's a way to join the going to jail club.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to go to jail for a couple months. And I mean, if he's not registered as a sex offender for this, that's bullshit.
I think.
You can't just sit there. You can't just sit there and be stroking up in a tube floating over the fucking world, and have some poor flight attendant just trying to do her damn job, and you're over here panda. Like, no, come on, dude.
Panda.
Yeah, dude.
All of a sudden, here he is, just like smacking it on her leg and all that. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, I mean, just like she didn't deserve that. Like,
no,
that's something that I don't. I know that there's a lot of fucking controversy surrounding, adult film stars and people who have OnlyFans and shit, saying like they get harassed out in public and shit. That's fucking crazy, and I don't think anybody should be doing that. But just a regular ass flight attendant on an airplane doing her job, why? To me, that's no different than going through the grocery store line and flopping it out at the grocery store. That's no different than going and ordering a double cheeseburger and saying, "Hey, would you like one too?" There's no reason to be out here at somebody's job slapping your schlong at them. No reason. No reason. You can't blame it on mental health. How many people are out here fucked up to death and you don't see them stroking their Johnson at your job?
I'm in the hood, right by the train station where I used to live at. There's a whole bunch of crackheads. I had never seen one crackhead dick or
I mean
boob or anything.
Here's the thing I hate to say about whenever you're in positions like Designer is, you really think you can get away with a lot. And I guarantee you...
Even if I could, that's not what I would pick.
Well, not, and I know, but Chad, you're looking at this from your perspective, whereas Designer's probably gotten blowjobs on airline flights before. He probably has.
Maybe.
And maybe for him, in his mind, he was thinking, and I'm not, this doesn't mean I'm approving of it. This does not mean that what he did was okay under any standard.
You can't approve of that.
No, there's no room for approval on that. But all I'm saying is, in terms of his mindset, he probably thought he could get away with it, and he was wrong.
Well, the same thing just recently happened with that young dude that was playing for the Spurs. Remember? The guy that was playing for San Antonio. The literal psychologist was like, he kept flashing his Johnson at me. No. Look, all right. If it has worked in the past, okay, which it probably has, like you said, for these guys. It probably has worked in the past, that very aggressive, uncomfortable tactic. The moment that it don't work.
I just thought about the fucking Patrick and SpongeBob. Look at it! Look at it!
Instead, he's just like, look at it!
Rick! I'm going to slap it with a book.
Look at it!
Be like the nuns that used to abuse children with rulers.
Look at it!
Oh, come on, dude.
I have to come back strong.
Christ,
come on.
What are we doing?
All right,
move
on to another topic. God damn it.
No.
Finish.
Let's talk about. No, let's talk about. Okay. I'll wrap it back around with something else. Okay, so male machismo. Having that ideal that you can accomplish. Because I've heard stories of people back in the day. I heard it was like Metallica. James was in the shower, and then like 6 women came in and all started washing him all at the same time, and things happened. And it's just like, you see, shit like that happening to you on a regular basis. And these rappers, I guarantee you, they got snatch thrown at them from every direction, dude. Yeah. Every fucking direction. Because there's a lot of women out there like who basically just want to get down. Hey, women are just as horny as men. It's just they're better at hiding it.
But also, that's his experience.
Yes.
This woman's experience was a normal fucking life and a normal job until she unsolicitedly saw this man's dick.
Yes.
Where is her choice in that?
There is no choice. That's the thing. That's what I said, dude. This isn't approval. This is not approval of anything like that. It's just, for him, a mental, like, in his mental capacity, him doing that, he thought he could get away with it, and he was wrong. And you know what? I think it's a reality check that a lot of celebrities need out there, because it sobers them up to reality. Because the reality is, just because you make a shit ton of money, and just because your name is in lights, just because you've topped the billboards, just because you've had the #1 movie in the country, does not give you a golden ticket to get out of a situation free card. Now, there are some levels in Hollywood that are untouchable. Some producers out there who I've heard some very risque things about. Hint, hint. If you know, you know. But they've swept shit under the rug for years. And this guy here, he thought he was on that level, but clearly he's not. He is not on that level, and he's gonna pay for it. Yeah.
Or the idea that's
no, even the level that
acceptable.
you see, if you're at a concert and there's a girl that comes and meets you in the green room and she's like, hands on with you, like she wants you to pull it out. Okay, pull it out. But unassuming flight attendant, and for you to just be like laying it on the dinner tray, that's just like that you pull it down.
And the excuse is I hadn't got laid as much as I thought I would.
Yeah, and
overseas.
it's just like, hey, honey, I got a tube steak here for you.
Dude. Wonder what he would have thought if she would have just like bashed that motherfucker with like some kind of hot skillet, some kind.
I was
of
gonna say, if like all of a sudden she like had like a cold can of Coke and just like smashed it like a judge's gavel, he'd have been like, oh shit,
yeah, that's what he deserved.
He'd have probably wrote a song about it. Like,
It
have
would've
my
been
dick
like-
smashed on an airline.
How the Bahana
bitch,
Boom? Then she flashing my
bitch,
mushroom. Oh.
bitch,
He barely speaks English.
Yeah.
bitch, bitch, done smashed my dick. Bitch,
Yeah.
done smashed my dick.
Bitch just
Thought I
sucking
was
my
going to
dick.
smash, but then I got
Bitch,
smashed.
smashed my dick.
Ow. Yeah, fuck it.
Please don't hit me in my nuts.
He's still hitting me in my nuts. Yeah. Please don't hit me in my nuts. I can't hit myself and staring at butts. Wow. Oh.
Chad,
Anyway.
you're too good at that, man. You are too good at that shit. Oh god. All right, Rick, what's the topic you wanted to discuss today?
So, since I missed a few podcasts, and obviously I went through the old podcasts and things that, I heard some stuff, and there's some things I want to bring up, and to not to kind of revamp it in a sense, because you had talked about the Mario movie and other stuff like that. But I have kind of like a twist on it. It deals with comic book movies and video game movies. For example, for video game movies, what would be an actor you will love to see play a certain character? And that goes also with comic books. Either if it could be a movie that already exists that you probably replace the actor with somebody else, or a movie that has not come out yet that you guys would like to see an actor play. Like for example, I always, before I die, I want to see Willem Dafoe play Joker.
I agree with that 100%. Keep it 100 on that.
So that's like an example I'm talking about.
There's several. There's one that I would say for me, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Instead of Michael Cera playing Scott Pilgrim, instead Jamie Bell, because Jamie Bell has a much more close personality to Michael Cera or to Scott Pilgrim, whereas Michael Cera is just that nervous guy, just like, hi, I'm Scott Pilgrim. Instead, like, Scott has this fake like image of himself where he's the protagonist in his own comic, which he is, but yet it's his just complete and total lack of awareness around him that makes the situations all the more funny. And I think with Jamie Bell in that role instead of Michael Cera, it would have felt more like how the comic is. And no disrespect to Michael Cera, he did great with what he had and what he could do, but I would have just loved to have seen a Scott Pilgrim more accurate to how he is in the comics.
Yeah.
But Chad, what's one that you had?
Leisure Suit Larry with Danny McBride playing Leisure Suit Larry. Okay?
Yes!
I know that's
Yes!
a bit out there, but I think he could do it, and I think a modern adaptation to that would be funny as fuck.
That would be... Wow, I cannot believe how
it
much
would
that works
probably,
in my mind.
It would probably... I mean, there's no way. Especially... I mean, just the whole concept is funny to think about, but God, people would lose their fucking minds over that.
Yes, they would.
But it would be hilarious, and I think Danny McBride could pull it off.
I think so too. I would say. I would also say another one. I would love to see. Let's see. In terms of video game adaptations, if we're making a Samus movie, if we're making a Metroid movie, or Samus, just Samus Aran, Bounty Hunter, because it doesn't have to be circled around the Metroid series, and then like if it's successful, then lead into Metroid, and you have all that lore to pull from. Yeah. But if we're talking about Samus, I don't know. I would say if she was a little bit younger, Charlize Theron, potentially. Charlize Theron, and I would also say, I don't know. There's several actresses that I could think of in the role, but I've been having a hiccup on that one. I mean, knowing what Samus looks like, what would you all think about it?
I mean, that would be hard for me to cast in that role, just because.
Need somebody
what about the chick from
blonde?
Mandalorian? The chick that got fired from Mandalorian.
Gina Carano?
Yeah.
Potentially.
Because she's just believable as a fucking badass, man.
Yes, she is.
And Samus has to be...
Has to be a badass.
And she's not exactly the look, but I think she could pull off the physicality of that role.
Yeah,
I think
they have to have that physical, the physique aspect.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know
that if Hollywood had their choice, because she's an it girl right now and she's still popular, they're gonna probably cast Margot Robbie. They're probably gonna cast her, and nothing against
Pedro Pascal in a wig,
or my nightmare would really be completed if they casted Brie fucking Larson.
Yeah, I literally just whispered. I was like, I hope he doesn't say that, but yeah, no.
Now that I put it out there, it's gonna happen.
No,
you mean bootleg Avril Lavigne?
Ha! Yeah.
It's just a boy.
I was gonna say there's several here. There's Jennifer Lawrence. There's Blake Lively.
I could see Jennifer Lawrence doing it.
I could too. I could too. It'd be a big blockbuster that could get her back in the limelight if she wanted to. But
boy, they came after her ass over this last comedy she did.
Yeah. Well, it's because I think she doesn't know what to do with her career. Because think about this: when she was 15 years old, she got nominated for an Oscar, and she'd won by the time she was like 21 or 22.
Yeah.
I mean, and plus, the Hollywood system chewed her up and spit her out, man, in terms of just, relationships and all that, that she tried to have. Mm-hmm. It completely fucked her. It completely fucked her over, and I feel bad for her on that front. Now, I do think that she was a bit dumb with some things. For instance, her saying that it was unfair that it was unfair that she wasn't getting paid as much as some co-stars and her male co-stars in one movie, but yet in Passengers she was getting paid a shit ton more money for a shit ton less screen time than Chris Pratt, which I think that's really the only thing that I would really say is like dumb about that. But or you know what, maybe they could just go with an unknown, like cast an unknown actress.
I love that idea. I feel like it is a double-edged sword because that can also typecast somebody in their first major role.
Yeah,
I get that it happens. You get stuck in this identity of like you have to be this character now forever in everybody's mind. Yep. But I appreciate that so much more than trying to disconnect my brain from an actor who's been in everything and try to see the character. And to me, in the movies, sorry to say it to all the actors out there, but the character is more important than you are.
Yes.
Telling the story is why you fucking exist in this occupation.
Tom Williams is, everybody sees him only as Clark Kent from Smallville.
Unfortunately,
so even when I saw him in Lucifer as Kane, they still threw a Superman joke at him.
Yeah,
he threw a tissue box at him. Everybody has a kryptonite Kane.
Yeah,
and the camera went back to him. He smiled, but it
is what it is.
He's known as Clark Kent. That's forever going to be his thing. Unfortunately,
you can either embrace it or let it be the bane of your existence.
Yeah, but at least he did a cameo in Crisis of Infinite Earths,
and that was great. I loved that cameo.
Yeah,
I thought it was really cool how they made him like a human Superman. It was like if Clark chose to be human, it's like, damn, that's really cool.
Yeah. I got one. I got a movie for you guys that I would actually like to see, and because y'all talked about Resident Evil in a previous podcast.
Yeah,
and y'all talked about the movies and then the Netflix stuff. I want to have an actual good Resident Evil movie. Mm-hmm. Most likely the people who has done the Last of Us series, because that was like an amazing adaptation for a video game.
Yeah, Craig Mazin and his team are awesome.
So redo Resident Evil 4 live action. Because Resident Evil 4 had remasters or remakes or remasters. It was on PS2.
Yeah, it was ported everywhere.
Wii, then Wii U, then Wii Switch, then PC, then PS4, then PS5. So Resident Evil 4 is a classic, but it's been redone over and over again.
Who plays Leon Kennedy?
Jared Padalecki. Sam from Supernatural.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying Ryan Gosling.
No,
they're both in the same wheelhouse in terms of look.
I think Sam,
but
Sam from Supernatural, Jared Padalecki. I think he is the best cat because he's a gunslinger.
Yeah.
And if you actually watch Supernatural, he's agile.
I have watched Supernatural, and I will tell you, as a fan of the Supernatural, I wanted to like it, but it is the corniest shit. Oh my god, it's the corniest shit. Like, I didn't know if I was watching some sci-fi show or Dawson's Creek sometimes. I was just like, bro, this is the WB right here. I mean, could we have had this idea somewhere else?
It was for a while.
I can't watch Arrow. I can't watch none of that shit. Like, that shit insults my intelligence worse than wrestling does. And that's pushing it.
Damn.
Like, I could see it.
And I think maybe that could give him an opportunity to act on a big stage outside of that campy shit.
Yeah. And
you know,
I could say like if they did the haircut the same and everything.
He has that long way how he has it, and he's on top of that he's a douche. And the good thing is that since I'm a humongous fan of Supernatural, I'm not sure it was obvious.
Yeah, but sorry about my insults. I guess honest opinion.
It's valid.
Keep it 100. Keep it 100.
It's valid. Yeah. Not everybody got into it. Some people watched it to the entirety. Some people couldn't. I'm fine with it. The first season was horrible. It was trash. It was different zombies and this and that. It was yeah. I get your point. And then after season 10, it just was crumbling, and they were just milking the money of the series, and the ending was horrible. But besides the point of that, but like with Sam, if you actually look up like the backgrounds of like the actual actors, there's a lot of scenes that's improv. That is just sarcasm. They added their own sarcasm to the character, and I think maybe 20% of the whole entire series was actually improv between the two brothers. So since Leon is known to be a sarcastic asshole sometimes, Jared has that naturally, so that's why I feel like Jared's like the perfect candidate for Leon.
Who do you think would make a good Luis Serra?
Pedro Pascal.
Nah, age
for everything. Yeah. He has to be cast in everything until we chew him up and spit him out and never speak of him again. Feel so bad for that guy.
Luis. I mean,
probably. Hold on. What's his name? I think.
I don't know why my brain is thinking like Mario Lopez.
I'd say probably if you're going with the more recent one, Luis, probably Diego Boneta, because he's got that handsome douchey look to him, and also you could believe him as potentially like a researcher. Honestly, I don't know. But it's because I just liked him in everything I've seen him in, and also he's just got a natural charm that makes him likable, even when he's doing things that's just like a little bit questionable.
How about John Leguizamo?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
What about Ramon Salazar?
Ramon
Salazar.
Peter Dinklage.
No, Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage.
I mean,
I could see Nicolas Cage just like, sayonara, Mr. Kennedy.
I would think about, I don't know, like Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
Antonio Banderas. Well, wait, are you talking about Sadler or Salazar? I mean, Salazar. Okay, Salazar, little dude.
Ramon.
Ramon Salazar, yeah.
Hasbulla. You get Hasbulla.
Oh, my God.
I said Peter Dinklage, and nobody says a fucking word.
You get Hasbulla.
Evidently, he's like hyper religious. He's like super religious dude and won't do anything, outside of the small shit that he does.
God.
No pun intended. I meant like the little things that.
Wow.
God damn it, dude.
Twitter, cancel this man right now.
Wow, bro.
I don't even know how to finish up that statement, but he does only a few things, I guess you could say.
Just minor roles.
God damn it. I can't win this. I've got to stop.
No,
so Hasbulla will be Ramon. I will have Antonio Banderas as what's his name? I know it's
Sadler,
Sadler.
Sadler,
Osman,
yeah.
or Osman Sadler.
Osmond.
Osman Sadler, yeah.
So I have him as
Bullshit.
Antonio Bandera.
Well,
I didn't like Antonio Bandera in the Uncharted movie. I feel like they should have switched Antonio with Sully. Like I think Antonio Bandera should have been Sully.
potentially, yeah.
I feel like it could have done well because he's getting older, and I think he's an actual cigar smoker. Even though Mark Wahlberg is also a cigar smoker as well in real life, but I think he was just too young for the role of Mark Wahlberg because Sully's older, like in his 60s or 70s or whatever.
Well, they were trying to do like a young Nathan Drake and a young Sully, to like give them time to like age up and like make a franchise out of it.
I guess. But Tom Holland as Nathan Drake was.
No, and no disrespect to Tom Holland.
Yeah, he's my favorite Spider-Man.
You need you need a different kind of feel with Nathan.
Yeah, I
Drake.
don't see Nathan Drake and Spider-Man on the same like.
I don't either. Not really.
No.
Because Nathan Drake is a little bit taller and he's a gunslinger. While
Nathan
Tom Holland
Drake
is a web slinger.
He's built like a linebacker.
To me, I see him as the fucking what's his name? Brendan Fraser in The Mummy. That's Nathan Drake to me.
Yeah, I see.
You know what I'm saying? Like if they had somebody like that, he can't be an old man, but he has to be a man.
It has to be a man.
And Tom Holland is not old enough to be fully developed, like looking like a fucking man. About to be, mid-30s.
No,
he's
still in his early 20s. He's still in his early 20s. I mean,
yeah. So usually Hollywood will cast people as like, 5 or 6 years younger than they actually are. This time they cast somebody who needed like 5 or 6 years to be old enough to play that character. But they were trying to strike while the iron was hot and get a well-known actor to start that franchise off and
make the money.
Yeah, that was a money move more than is this going to make this a good movie. It's just my opinion, but that's the way I saw that.
I had the same opinion.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm just thinking of all the potential people that could be involved in these not remakes, but adaptations, and just like how Hollywood can fuck it up, and again they have to swing their dick around and make everybody,
of course,
let everybody know it's like, oh, we're in control here, hey, we're like, we know what good cinema is. It's just like, yeah, what are you gonna remake next, or what are you gonna make a sequel to next? Like, what are you gonna make a shitty live action remake of a Disney movie next? It's just like it. Oh.
Yep.
I don't know.
Apparently, I heard speculations of a Snow White in development, but they're making the Snow White African American. They kind of want to go towards that route, but even though in the book they talk about how Snow White, her skin was as clear as snow,
as white as porcelain, basically.
Yeah, but then they want to cast African American for Snow White.
I can't wait to see Will Smith and I can't wait to see Will Smith in the new Hitler adaptation that's coming out.
But
for me though,
the internet is funny because they say that version is gonna be called Black Ice.
Oh wow. Yeah, none of that shit matters to me. Like anytime they talk about the Disney remakes and all this shit, I'm like, we are talking about Disney, right?
Yes.
Y'all motherfuckers, why do you care? When they touch Marvel shit, I get pissed. When they touch Star Wars, I get pissed. If they want to deal with the Disney princesses, and they can do whatever the fuck they want to with that, because as far as I'm concerned, I don't give a shit. I'm not watching it. Fuck it. What's going to hurt them is when the target audience that they want to go watch those movies and those shows don't. Yeah. What happened with The Mandalorian hurt them. because the core base of people that watched that show and got behind it when it first started fell off.
Yeah.
And it's because Kathleen Kennedy fucked everything up. Grogu was not supposed to go back to what is it, Desiigner or whatever.
Yeah,
They weren't
supposed
supposed to be reunited. Once he went with Luke, that was his story. He was going to become a Jedi and go on and do his fucking thing, and the whole Mandalorian shit was going to take part without him. Kathleen Kennedy was like, nope, put them back together. Ruined the whole vision. So then you had the whole future of that series destroyed, and they had to shoehorn shit to try and make it make sense and to continue to do something with it at that point. And that's why you saw the fucking shit happen in the middle of Boba Fett's show was
for no reason.
Was to like make Kathleen Kennedy happy. And so the next season that we got of The Mandalorian, they're trying to juggle the Grogu shit along with the Mandalorian storyline about going back to Mandalore and all this shit. So like, it makes sense now that I know how it happened. But as a viewer, just going and watching season 3 of The Mandalorian, I was like, man, this is so fucking convoluted, and I don't see any real build to what's going on between
There's no build.
But
the build
they did at the last couple of episodes. It did. They finally got it back into sync, but it took the whole fucking season to figure something out that would even work. And they did, because you have some very brilliant motherfuckers that have been working on this shit a long time, and they patched it up. But what pisses me off about it is nobody goes, fucking Kathleen Kennedy sucks.
She does.
They go, this show sucks. And it's like, no, dude, those characters are not at fault for their success and how good of a property that show started to be for Disney. Mm-hmm. That's not the problem. The problem is when people from the outside that weren't involved in it come in and try to fix something that's not fucking broken, and then they fuck it up, and the people who worked on this thing have to try and make it work again. Mm-hmm. They're trying the best that they fucking can, and you can see it at the end of the series when they finally, made the masters happy so they would go the fuck away. They fixed it.
Yeah.
Finally.
And it's just like, what they're going to do with all the old Disney properties and these old folklore movies that they've been making off of other people's talent forever is whatever they're going to fucking do. But whenever they come in and shit all over Marvel the way they have and shit all over Star Wars the way they have, that's when I get pissed. That's when I get mad, because they're doing shit that doesn't make sense outside of their own viewpoint of the world. They don't care about the lore. They don't care about the fans of these properties. They just want to make their statement on the grand stage, and it's like, nobody came here for that.
No,
you're an entertainment for me, company. I'm considered a minority. I grew up with nothing but blacks and Hispanics, and my core group of my own personal life is majority African American. Yeah. And when Disney started doing this whole turn of events of just having black versions of this Disney princess, black version of that Disney princess, black version of this, black actress this, black actor this, or first Latina princess, and when they're trying to add all these little minority stuff, and it's all of us look at each other.
Pandering, all the pandering in the world for you.
Because they don't actually give a shit, dude.
Yeah,
they don't actually give a shit.
When you had that first, Princess and the Frog, yes, that was revolutionary. That's our first official, black princess. So that was
and the first official Latino Disney prince.
Yeah, that was something that was kind of revolutionary for in my community. But when it became a little, I guess, like a mainstream type of thing, where now Ariel is black, then this person, they put as African American or actress or actor, and it's like, even if you stick to the original story, people are not gonna get upset. And then now you have Lilo and Stitch coming out, and I think, I'm not too sure if Nani is gonna be in Hawaiian, but I think they're gonna pick somebody else, or somebody who's not Hawaiian background. So it's like, you're picking and choosing the wrong things. Like you're desperate to make Ariel black, but then you have a Hawaiian movie, Lilo and Stitch, where the whole cast should be Samoan or at least some type of Hawaiian background to make
Yeah.
it match.
Yeah,
You know,
native,
obviously Lilo and Stitch, but you're putting some people here to sprinkle this, sprinkle that, but then you're trying to target the minority community to get them to watch like the Little Mermaid, Snow White, this, that, that. But you're losing us, and they just want to do it just either as a quota or just to make a statement. Just like, oh, see, we believe in equality, and it's like, but no, like you half the viewage of the core group you're trying to aim at is now saying that you're just dumb. Like no one wants to watch your movies, or no one, people are like,
well,
steering away from your company because it's just like pandering.
Disney's already feeling it in a lot of ways because their numbers on their streaming services and their ticket sales have gone down. And
their streaming service is shit, dude. I hardly ever, outside of the Star Wars shit that I've watched, like Rebels and, like Clone Wars and shit like that, that's what I will fucking binge watch on there. I don't watch anything new.
Yeah, me neither.
There's nothing new. It's all old
Why
shit.
would
Now
you?
they finally got the Spider-Man movies on there, and it's like, okay, great. I'll watch that. But all this new shit, ugh.
Zero
Dude,
interest.
I give it to Jeremy Renner. He seems like a great guy. And his little thing where he goes and takes old vehicles and makes them good for communities and shit.
Yeah.
Great. That show is fucking awful. It sucks so bad. And there's so much money in it. It's just like a shit show. Like every original that's come out has been fucking terrible. Like the basketball movie that they just put out about that dude proving he can dunk or whatever, I watched it and it was like good. And then they just didn't know what to do with the end of it. It just like was fucking stupid as shit. It didn't make any sense at the end. It's like I tried to watch Willow. Oh my God, it was terrible. The Willow TV show, it was so bad. It's just like bad, 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 bad. It's like they took what would be on the Disney Channel and try to put that against like fucking Netflix and Hulu and fucking, well, not Hulu because I think Disney owns that shit too.
Partial
But like
ownership.
even Amazon shit is so much better than the originals that come out on the Disney
And
app,
that's
and that's saying a
something,
lot.
considering Rings
The
of
only
Power.
the only good one that I've seen that has come off of there has been that fucking D&D animation shit. Vox Machina is fucking
Dude, Vox
amazing.
Machina is awesome. It is.
But you can't
top
credit
tier
them
shit.
for doing anything but footing the bill for some shit that was already happening.
Well, yeah, because they were
know.
already in production of it because they raised enough money on their Kickstarter, and then Amazon came along and was just like, oh, we will put you front and center and release it and everything. And honestly, it was the whole deal with Vox Machina is that it's just a bunch of friends telling a story in Dungeons and Dragons. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
And it's fucking awesome. It's great.
is.
I would suggest
All
for
the
people to
characters
watch
are
it,
awesome.
but
But we're doing a reaction series to it, man. And so
Yeah.
far in the second season, we are in love with all the shit.
Nikki and I are 7 episodes into the first season, I think. And it has been, I think Terrell recommended that for us to watch. And we tried it
a good
one
watch.
episode and everybody was like, y'all motherfuckers got to watch this shit. Nikki actually loves it and she hates shit like that. I mean,
that says something, man.
but yeah, did you have a topic, Nate? I don't think we even got to yours.
Yeah, my topic, I'll keep it short, but that new game, Unrecord, have y'all seen it?
Oh yes, I saw gameplay.
I've not heard of it.
It's ridiculously realistic.
So this is Unrecord, Chad. This is the official early gameplay trailer. I want you to watch it, and I want you to discern what you think is going on here. But anyway, Go ahead, Rick.
Police.
So in terms of, okay, in terms of realism, like, how do you think this looks?
I think it looks very fucking real. It looks like body cam footage for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, is this VR shit?
I think there's going to be a VR like setting where you can play it VR, but I think right now this is just FPS.
It's still really good.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of there's several controversies going on right now. I'll talk about it after the thing's over, but so far, like, this has set a lot of the gaming community on fire because they're just like, holy shit, just like with how realistic this looks.
Yeah. Especially where it's like really good graphics, but the filter like kind of covers a lot of shit up.
Yes. Because they're giving it not a lo-fi look, but definitely a processed look that you can see on body
it
cams.
looks like it's through a body cam for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's what really sells it.
Yeah. Because a lot of time graphics on games are like look too good, like too polished to be real.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculously like realistic.
This reminds me of like the beginning of RoboCop or some shit.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is Oscar?
There you go.
Yeah, that shit's crazy looking, dude.
So, Unrecord is a game that is coming out, and there's some controversy surrounding it. First off, there's a lot of people out there who think that the footage is fake, but has stuff overlaid on top of it to make it look like a video game, and certain things are added in to make it look like video game. But they're saying that this is a proof of concept. They're saying like this is what it will look like, but the official developer has come out and said no, this is like real footage. Like this is real in-game footage, and you see, you don't know what to believe because it's just like, is the developer talking out of their ass, or
Right.
is this something that we can legit believe in and something that could potentially be amazing? I don't know. That's what gets me. I want to believe that this is real, but I've been fooled before. Just like the day before, that game that was coming out, and they had all these gameplay trailers. They had everything out there. They showed what it was going to be like to play with other people online, how it was going to be like if you ran into other bands of people online.
Right.
Rainbow Six.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, they're just like, oh, it's fake. This shit's pretty much vaporware. It's just a bunch of people got hyped over this, and they got nothing to show for it. So, yeah. And I'm hoping that isn't the case with this. You see, overhyping games, especially from an indie studio, it happens a lot. For instance, the worst offender of it, I would say, is No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky, whenever they were hyping the shit out of it, like they were saying like this is going to be the next step in procedural generated world building video games, and when the game released, it was bare bones. Didn't even have multiplayer. Right. But over the span of a few years,
I literally have to drop off right now.
All right, dude. Yeah. But sorry.
If y'all need to finish up without me, that's fine. We'll
close out.
My time.
Yeah, we'll close out without you, man. Sorry.
I'm sorry I have to jump off, y'all. But
hey, do what you gotta do.
All right.
I'll be hollering at y'all later.
All right, man. See you.
Peace out.
So yeah, I hope it's not fake. I really do. I hope it's real, man.
I mean, like you just said, like example I just said, it's the first trailer of Rainbow Six Siege when it came out. They played a hostage scene, and then they repelled from helicopters, and then the hostage had a little bit of voice lines and help me, save me. They're interacting with the drones.
Yeah.
And then the game came out, and it was just you just pick up the person, and they're out of sight on your screen Well, in the trailer, you see them, holding their arms or you see them, passing around. The person would pass the hostage to the next person, and it seemed more realistic. Even though, yes, Rainbow Six was one of the most realistic, I guess, first person shooters out there, because obviously you can shoot the walls, ceilings,
Yeah,
dab,
yeah.
repelling. So even though it had that aspect to it, the trailer kind of lied. And
It did.
Repelling from the helicopter would have been cool to keep in as part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen so many games that were in trailer modes, or, oh, this is actual gameplay footage, and then you get the game and it's not what it was. It's like, I'm a
Watch
humongous
Dogs.
fan of Assassin's Creed.
Oh god.
Like, I'm a
Sorry,
huge fan of Assassin's Creed, and you will see a lot of the cinematic trailers or the little cinematic cutscenes, and they say, "Oh, this is how gameplay is going to reflect the trailers." I'm like, wow. So you see like FC Auditory or even other individuals, they look so badass because the cutscenes are so detailed.
Yep.
And the gameplay is whole different.
Yes.
And it's like low poly and this, and it's like, I just hope this doesn't disappoint, because if this game comes out and this is an indie company that's coming out with this this much of a realistic graphics, I can only imagine like future like AAA games that might incorporate this type of realism, like with potentially God of War series, potentially like if they continue Uncharted or the next Last of Us, or whatever they decide to do, because usually Naughty Dogs like to use very realistic details. Last of Us Part 2 was hyper realistic. Even with Capcom with the most recent Resident Evil 4, the graphics were pretty good. Obviously when you're walking in the mud, it's footprints, and you have Ashley behind you. You shoot your gun, and she's covering her ears because of the sound of the bullets. They had realism in it. So if this indie company could do this, hopefully that'll push these AAA platforms to do this much realism, because people are gonna start pointing fingers. How is this small indie company having this much amazing graphics compared to your game that costs you millions or millions and millions of dollars? How you're a multi-billion-dollar company and this small indie company just shit on your graphics tremendously? If it comes out to be real.
If it comes out to be real, that's my thing, and I hope it is. I hope it is real, and I hope it does shift the gaming paradigm in a better direction with it. But I don't know. So anyway, we're gonna end it here, everybody. Chad had to dip out a little early because of time constraints, but Rick, it was good having you on here again, man, and hope that this will lead to us doing more Minecraft, doing more crazy stuff. And also just having fun and all that. I mean, this has just been fun. What else is there to say? I'm loving the hell out of this.
Well, the beard is still bearding, and things are going back to normal. So a lot of heavy lifting behind the scenes stuff that I'm dealing with have been lifted. So I already lifted and put them down. So I already did that part and it's out the way. So now everything is just on waiting. We already got everything done, and documents been signed, and it's a wait game.
I'm glad to hear it, man. I'm glad that you're able to get all that sorted. And hey, if any more comes up, man, just let us know. We're here for you. But everybody, thank you for tuning in. Till next time, I'm Nate.
I'm Rick.
And we were the Beardy Boys, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.